amar lo más que pueda.
Que contigo iba a envejecer. En otra vida, en otro mundo podrá ser. En esta sala queda irme un día. Caer. Si me ven solo y triste no me hablen. Si me ven solo y triste soy culpable. La vida es una fiesta que un día termina. Y fuiste tú mi baile inolvidable. No te puedo olvidar, no te puedo borrar. Tú no te puedo olvidar, no te puedo borrar. Tú me enseñaste a querer, me enseñaste a bailar. Y dime cómo le va para olvidarte. Hay un paso nuevo que quiero enseñarte. En la noche ya ni puedo dormir. Lo que hago es soñarte. No te puedo olvidar, no te puedo borrar. Tú me enseñaste a querer, me enseñaste a bailar. Como tú me besabas, como yo te lo hacía, como tú me mirabas, bellaquito me ponía. Se siente feo no tenerte cerquita. La nueva mamá bien, pero no es tu boquita. Mi diablo, mi ángel, mi loquita. Mi diablo, mi ángel, mi loquita. Ay. Esto suena cabrón. Vamos a hacerlo otra vez. Como anoche. Aprieta, chamaquito. Aprieta. Pero con cualquiera quiero darme con usted, yo bailo con usted, nada más con usted, un beso donde esté. No te puedo olvidar, no te puedo borrar. Me enseñaste a querer, me enseñaste a bailar. Y yo he tenido muchas novias, pero como tú ninguna. Ya no tengo mis sol. Me paso en la luna. Si te pienso me tiro de uno.
You didn't hear it all morning? Like you actually sleep. Right. Hey, your car. You can lower the volume a little bit. So what? Most time Christ. Any questions? Nah? Oh yeah. What's up?
Bad Bunny, that's your slap.
That's so just to give you y'all a little background. So I heard that Bad Bunny's refusing to tour in the US because he's concerned about ICE showing up. You know what I'm saying? He knows, you know, his people gonna show up whether they got a green card or not. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's good. Because you got a lot of people that like they'll for money they'll do anything. You know what I'm saying? So for him to be able to turn around and then, you know, sacrifice American dollars, you know what I'm saying? Like, now he Puerto Rican, right? You know what I'm saying? So he American too. But my point is like, you know, so he's talking big money. He's one of the biggest artists in the world. So for him to be able to, you know what I'm saying, make that sacrifice, you know what I mean? I think that's commendable. Now, I don't know nothing else about the cat. You know what I'm saying? I probably know 12 words in that song. You know what I'm saying? But you know, good music is good music either way. But no question. So y'all know the whole Bible. That's what it is. So, what's up?
So I do have
Yeah.
sir, it's in Luke 10.
Okay.
It's about the Good Samaritan, right? 25. But my question is, before we read it, sir, is you know, the Christians say that anybody can be your neighbor, right? And this right here, this breakdown that I'm trying to get is the Good Samaritan, right? Well, what's the UPK stance on the Good Samaritan?
So the Good Samaritan, first of all, how did Christ deal with people who weren't his people?
He ignored them, sir.
You understand? He would ignore them. He wouldn't deal with them. You know what I'm saying? The woman at the well, I mean, he calls her a hoe. Right. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I've never been married. He's like, you've had 5 husbands. She's like, I perceive thee a prophet. You slept with 5 men. So the other woman, the Syrophoenician, what do you call her?
Called her
Called her a dog. Said, we the children, you the dog. And at first he ignored her. But when it comes down to his people, he would talk to his people, conversations with them. So Samaria was the northern kingdom. You know what I'm saying? At one point, the northern kingdom was removed. And if you don't know, you know what I'm saying, history. So when the northern kingdom was removed, eventually some Israelites were brought back. The land was getting so polluted, the Lord started sending like plagues. He sent lions, sending the beasts to start tearing the people up because they weren't living how he dictated we should be living inside of this land. The land was holy, the land was up. So there were also heathens that were brought in. The heathens were taught our ways. So our people got mixed in with the heathens. So we have Samaritans. We got a good Samaritan. What could the only good Samaritan be?
Sorry, sir, if I may. The only Good Samaritan that Christ would be talking about would be someone of the kingdom.
You understand?
Right.
And what we got to realize is in the scriptures, just like we do today, we called ourselves from land. We called ourselves, you know what I'm saying, like from different areas. Like, I'm in New York. You know what I'm saying? I'm also a Puerto Rican. I'm also an American. You know what I mean? I'm also what else? I'm also a New Greek. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't speak enough Spanish to be Puerto Rican enough for the people that were born on the island. Wasn't born on the island. Y'all from the tribe of Isupk, so you know what I'm saying? If y'all don't speak Spanish, you were born American, Chicanos. You know what I'm saying? If you West Indian, you wasn't born in Jamaica, you come stateside, you a Yankee. We got all these different titles to separate us when we don't feel that we're a part of the culture. I mean, what do we call, other Israelite groups? So they fake Israel. You understand? Because they've polluted one West culture. Now, ethnically, Does that mean that they're not us? No, but this is a damn near a tradition. This is cultural. This is something that, and every nation has something. You know what I'm saying? I was watching Tokyo Drift the other day. You know what I'm saying? A whole girl wasn't born on the same block. They called her a gaijin. You know what I mean? Everybody has something, and that's the problem. We've been divided. So the official stance is that this Samaritan was Israel. And that's how you can tell the context. You can tell the context between how Christ treated them, the conversations that they had, the description of it. And but the whole point was during that time, what was the largest population of what tribes inside of Judea?
So it was the tribe of Judah, tribe of Benjamin, and the tribe of Levi.
Correct. Now, does that mean, it was in totality? Does that mean that those were the only tribes that were there? No, because we don't add the prophetess, you know what I'm saying, was that she was from the tribe of Asher. You never want to think in complete totality. You got this is the UPK, this is universal and practical knowledge. And with universal and practical knowledge, we got Spanish Harlem. Does that mean there's no Judites, there's no so-called African Americans living in Spanish Harlem? What about the other side of Harlem? Does that mean that there's no Puerto Ricans or immigrants? No, it's just trying to tell you the majority of it because we've always sojourned with each other or lived inside other areas. You get what I'm saying? So you never want to think anything is completely 100%.
It's like I got a precept here. Matthew 10, verse 5 through 6. These 12 Yahushua sent forth, commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and enter any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
You understand? And that was the whole point. The whole point is, listen, we go to different cities. I've held camp in 14, 15 cities, maybe more. Just throwing a number out there. You know what I'm saying? And in every single one of those cities, it wasn't dear white people. You know what I mean? It wasn't, dear Asian people. It was, you know what I'm saying? We are the Israelite school starting at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And since 1969, we've been teaching Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians their heritage. So we've been here. And no matter what land we go to, I don't care where you are on the earth, we're there to wake up our people. Was there something in a specific verse that jammed you up, or is that too up?
No, it's too up. Because that was my understanding of the breakdown too, but it's like you said. No, that was it. Go on, sir.
No, sir. Any other questions? So let me check online. If y'all got any questions, y'all for sure more than welcome to be able to type them in. You call, I can check the chat. Yeah, you gotta go back. I have two questions. First, may I get a scripture breakdown on Isaiah 48 and 20? Let's go to Isaiah 48 and 20.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 20. Go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldeans. With a voice of singing, declare ye, tell this, utter it even to the end of the earth. Say ye, the Lord hath redeemed his servant Jacob.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, sis, if you could type in your question, what specifically are you asking? Is it the flee part? Are you thinking we gotta flee, we gotta run away? What specifically are you asking about that? I got a feeling it's about the flee Babylon. There's a lot of our people, and not saying you, just speaking on a general basis, you know, whenever something goes on, you know what I'm saying? It's always like, do we gotta go? Should we go to another country? You know what I'm saying? Scripture says that the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. You know what I'm saying? Give me pull Revelations 18:4. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. It was that should we flee? Flee and go where? As of right now. Like just think about it.
This book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people.
What it say?
Come out of her, my people.
Come out of her, my people, doesn't mean that we have to actually physically leave where we're going right now, right? Because I mean, we're scattered to the four corners of the earth. And anywhere that we go as a people, we'll be on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like if we go to China right now, who's gonna rule over us? You think if we just went to China, you know what I'm saying? This handful of us that's in this room, we gonna be able to, you know what I'm saying, assume power? You think we gonna rise in China, just a handful of us, you know what I'm saying, greater than the Han dynasty and they land? No, we're gonna be ruled by their government, by their legislature. We're gonna be second class citizens inside their land. If we went to the Arabian Peninsula, same thing. If we went to Guam, Nepal, which is in flames right now, France, which is in flames right now, where are we gonna go? They got nuclear submarines off the coast right now. They just, you know what I'm saying, they just blew up a speedboat, you know what I'm saying, off the coast of Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? They just declared, I mean, as of right now, they locking up Isupk rights left and right. They trying to push past the border. They want to start war with Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you gonna go? How are you gonna get there? Which one of y'all own a nuclear submarine? Oh, okay. Any of y'all got a jet? No. Any of you even own a boat? A skip? Shit, listen, that's a start. But we got a canoe, a raft, flotation device. How the hell you getting out of here? Where are we gonna go? Come out of her, my people, right? So what we have to do is we do have to get away from them, but we have to get away from them spiritually. We got to get away from their politics. Why are we going to be Democrats or Republicans? For what? You know what I'm saying? You just arguing over which slave master you want to serve. We don't have to be Christians. We don't have to be Muslims. We don't have to keep drinking down the cup of this society. The way that we leave this place, you understand, is by leaving it mentally. It's by leaving that spirit at the door. It's by returning to who we are as a people, because no other people comes to America and forgets who they are. You know what I mean? And these other nations, when they come here, they don't just intermingle and integrate with everybody else. That's why there's a Chinatown in every major metropolitan area. That's why the East Indians come here in droves. They have their own little section, and they go and live one little, two little, three little Indians inside their house. 12, 14 of them, whole house stinking like curry and sweat. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a dirty people, bro. Real talk. I seen this video. One cat was taking a shit in the river, the other guy was diving in head first in the same river. I was like, what are y'all doing? So it's like, we have to separate ourselves. Finish that verse.
Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin.
That ye be not partakers of her sins. America's sins. America's Babylon. America's sins are so high, you put one on top of the other like a brick, like Legos. They can touch the sky. That's how much sin is going on here right now. Like I want you to, like, there's things that we think are normal in Babylon. Absolutely sin. Interracial marriage is a sin. Christmas is a sin. You understand? Alternative lifestyle is a sin. Right now in America, there's an alternative lifestyle couple, you understand, married, interracially, and celebrating Christmas while getting high. on Thanksgiving. They're not even adding sins at this point. They multiplying them. Like, feel this for a second, right? Dwayne Wade's son is his daughter, who's dating somebody else's son, who was their daughter.
Yo,
So a girl became a boy, and a boy became a girl, and they're dating. That's a straight couple.
yeah.
What? Isn't that insane? That's crazy. Think about all the sin that goes on inside of it. Just think about it. Think about how many men are sleeping with another man's wife. How many women are sleeping, you understand, with a man that's not just adultery. Think about how much adultery. Isn't every song on the radio about sleeping with somebody else's wife? Isn't that wrong? You wouldn't know if you know what I'm saying, watch the movie. You know, every love story, if you really think about this, is about infidelity. Notebook, someone else's girl. Titanic, someone else's girl. Think about white people. Coming to America, the whole movie was about an African stealing somebody else's girl. And these are some of the greatest love stories that are ever told. All of them are about infidelity. None of them are about being loyal. America is a sinful land, and all it does is teach you how to embrace your lust. It doesn't teach you how to fight your lust. It's like you look at America, right? You know, unaliving somebody is wrong. And this is how I know we're sick, right? Because, you know what I'm saying, everybody in this room is listening to drill music. Pop Smoke is fire. Pop Smoke was unalive. And, you know, half his songs was send me to Addy and hunt him down. And you know what happened? His address got leaked. And then they hunted him down. And then we mourned. But we celebrated it in his music. Why don't we keep celebrating it when it happened to him? Oh, because we cared about him. So we shouldn't unalive each other. But you don't know that from the music we listen to. You understand? Like you don't know that. Yo, Grand Theft Auto was fire. You know what I'm saying? T Grizzly making mad money on his own GTA server. And everything that they was doing, listen, you know what I'm saying? And I get it. If y'all want to sit in GTA so that this way you don't kill your brother in real life, I'll tolerate it. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. We gonna get there. But you know what I'm saying? My point is, you wouldn't tell that unaliving somebody is wrong. If you just look at any piece of American culture. And then everybody wants to get all upset over Charlie Kirk. That was the most American thing I've seen in a long time. That was white culture.
Right.
White culture is, I disagree with you. That's white culture. Where do you think we learned it from? You understand? Like what we don't realize is like everything that we experience, that we've gone through in our life, is a symptom, is a byproduct of white supremacy. It's a condition of the world that we're in right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say that we don't have to change. It's not to say that there's no accountability on our part. But we have to acknowledge that the environment that we're in is not normal. This is Babylon's sins, and we can't partake in her sins. Otherwise, read on.
And that he received not of her plague.
Of her what?
Plague.
Yellow plague is back. The bubonic plague from the Middle Ages. You know what I'm saying? Like from the 14th century. There's cases of the bubonic plague going on right now inside. COVID-19, that was a plague. And there's more plagues and more pestilence and all these different things that are on the way. These are the times that we live in. Do y'all know what's going on in the world right now? Y'all been paying attention? Listen, Nepal has revolted. And it's like this 18-year-old kid who's speaking so passionately and so fire. And then I turn around and I see our youth, and they balancing Don Julio bottles on their head. They popping balloons to pick a mate. Which all of that is the CIA, but that's another topic. We talk about clandestine, you understand, a little bit later. But my point is, where like our kids are focused on grappling. Just found out what that was. You get what I'm saying? Like our kids are completely disconnected from life and reality, while they're calling this a Generation Z revolution inside of Nepal. You know how I know it's children that started this revolt? Y'all watch anime? You know, One Piece? They're using Luffy's, you understand, Jolly Roger, you understand, the pirate flag, you understand, to spark that entire revolution. It's children that overthrew that company. I mean, that country. Countries and companies anyway at this point. It's a Freudian slip. But my point is, but look at us, and look how far we've regressed. So I watched videos, right, of children from like the 50s, 60s, 70s that were on video and interviews. They had opinions on politics. They had opinions on oppression. You understand? And I mean valid points that were being made that you barely hear grown folks talking about right now. We're so disenfranchised and so unfocused on the reality around us. I told you that they just rioted in France. They just toppled another regime, you know what I'm saying, to get that prime minister. China just sent tanks over to Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? Article 4 was just activated by Poland. Like, we're technically at war with Russia right now as we speak because drones that were shot down over there in Poland. All of this is happening all over the world right now, lining up with biblical prophecy, and the Euphrates is drying. And Mississippi was looking a little scarce too. I ain't gonna hold you when I was driving across the country. You know what I'm saying? And you take a look at all these different events, but you know, more people could tell you who won the fight last night, you understand, than any of the things that I'm talking about. I know who won the fight, but I also know what's going on around me. I also know what's transpiring. You understand? The scripture says that it's high time for us to wake up. You can't stay asleep. You understand? You got any other questions in the room? Nothing yet? It's all right. That just means y'all got to study more. Oh, and then the second question was, how do I get your book list? I'll be releasing the book list on my new YouTube page. So I'll be definitely dropping books. You know what I'm saying? Just give me a second. I still got about 50 more books in the trunk I got to unpack. So just stand with me. Might have a question? Come on with it.
I've been in a spirit. Okay. I've been in a spirited, I guess, debate with a person about Christians, about believers, about people having money. Basically saying that money's evil. Said that you shouldn't have it. That I was just trying to find a way to articulate the question. So it says, not money itself that corrupts, it's the system which rewards you with money that's corrupt. So if you have money, that means you have participated in the corrupt system. So the only way to overthrow this corrupt system is to not have any money.
Okay. Money, give me a.
So she threw verses at me. She did. I threw some back at her, and then I stopped. I don't want to argue.
What verses did she throw?
All right. Proverbs 13:22. Luke 16:9.
I actually was going to go there.
Okay.
Yeah, so KJV, what I want you to do is you get me Luke, the 16th chapter, right? And I want you to get me Ecclesiastes 7 and 12.
Yes. What, sir?
7 and 12.
Can I read it or can I go?
You can read yours, yeah.
It says, I tell you, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourself, so that when it is gone.
That's get me the KJV.
Oh,
That seemed like it's the NIV.
you good? All right, I'm gonna wait. Hold on.
You got it, Carl?
It's like, what was it?
Ecclesiastes 7 and 12.
Sorry.
I figured you were. When I see you searching a little longer, I'm like, he in your pocket.
7 and 12, sir?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, let him read that, and then if you got that, we're gonna start at the beginning of the chapter. I'm gonna break this whole thing down, actually. Yeah.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense.
You understand? Wisdom is a defense. You know what the scripture says? Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of the times. Right now, there's a lot of instability going on in the world. And as a result of that, you understand, like the reason as to why, like, I'm cool as a fan with all this going on, while everybody else is panicking. People are shook over what happened to Charlie. You understand? Shook. And I understand that all this is supposed to come. Nation's supposed to bring against nation, earthquakes in diverse places. You understand? Wars and rumors of wars. Do not let these things trouble you. All these shall be getting paraphrased, of course, Matthew's 24th chapter. And that's because of the wisdom of the scriptures. But you know what else is a defense? Money is a defense. But what are you doing with your money? You understand? Buying weed with your money? Buying Don Julio and balancing it on your head? You buying sections in the club and acting like you bought land? Like what are you doing with the money to make it a defense? Are you investing in sustainability? Did you start an aquaponics farm so that when the supermarkets close, we don't starve to death? You understand? Like what are you doing with that? Or did you buy a PS5 and now you online buying skins for your fake army man? What are you doing to be defended by the money? And are you putting it into, like, the UPK is the government? This is the defense. You understand? Like this is we have evacuation routes in every single city for every single member. You understand? So on and so forth. You know, storehouses, infrastructure. You understand? Brothers that are being able to mobilize. What are you doing to defend yourself? Read on.
But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
You understand? But wisdom is going to save your life. Because you know what? You can't eat gold when food runs out. You understand? You know, like if there is a famine and those shells are scarce, you know, gold means nothing. You know, rice is going to be worth more than gold. Dry beans. You understand? Like that poultry you growing in your backyard is going to mean more. And the means to protect it is going to mean more than any dollar that you got in your bank account. You understand? Some of y'all won't be burning that money to keep your house warm at night to start fires. Then what? You understand? Wisdom, the wisdom to see the times that we're in and to pray. You understand? Like Noah. Noah was a prepper. And everybody thought he was crazy. He was building an ark. There was no rain. It was probably a goddamn drought. Everybody, it ain't rained in 2 years. And you
Never seen rain come from the sky. It come from the ground.
well, I don't know about in the early days, the dew in the springs used to water the earth, but eventually, you know what I'm saying, rain started to fall. But it started to fall for 40 days and 40 nights. And you understand, from the deep, it also rose. You understand? Like I thought that flood with Guadalupe, that river, was nothing in comparison to what happened. You're the most high, vicious. But you take a look at what's going on right now, right? Who's prepared? Wisdom is what's going to prepare you. You understand? But now into the topic. Let's go you can read that verse and then we'll start at the bottom and read up to it. You're gonna read when it says, make yourselves friends with the mammon. Good?
And I say unto you, make yourself friends with the man, that when ye fail, they will receive you into everlasting habitation.
See, the Most High knows his people. This is a cut to the nation of Israel. And I'm going to show you how it is. What I want you to do is just read a little bit louder, a little slower, and start at verse 1.
And he said unto his disciples, there was a certain rich man which had a steward, and the same was accused unto him that he had wasted his goods.
That's perfect. Now, so I don't know if it's a little too early for y'all to get the context, or if y'all know this story. Who's the rich man? Who's the steward?
Slightly, so the rich man are the Pharisees, right?
That's correct. You understand? So no, I'm sorry. Not in this one. No. Not in this parable. In this one, the rich man is the Most High. The steward are those who work for the Most High. Who's supposed to work for the Most High? Pastors. You understand? Leaders, the aristocracy of Israel. You understand? The leadership of our nation. I hate that word, leadership. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Those who were in power, in charge at that time, right? And he wasted his goods. What's supposed to be the goods? True, but in this context, the people are the goods. You understand? And Israel has become damaged goods. Look in the Christian church, right? How many people sleeping with each other's wives? How many children are being SA'd? You understand? Sexually abused. Think about how much wickedness goes on in this place that's supposed to be a house of God. Christian church, you understand, is a whorehouse. Christian church is the house of Satan, and that's so foreign because we've been deceived to look at them as something pious, as something meek, as something holy. You understand? Meanwhile, who the hell goes in there? Listen, you take LGBTQ or whatever, you understand, and you dunk them in water, and they coming up with what? LGBTQ member. Water wash your heads, it don't wash your soul. And that's why so many people, like, you know how many people I've talked to and be like, yeah, I'm going to take the war off, I gotta get dunked again. It ain't do nothing the first time. You know, so you have mega churches with water slides dropping you off into the pool. That doesn't change somebody's life. You understand? We have to clean our spirit. Our souls are dirty. Like when you got a void inside yourself that you can't fill, you only feel fresh if you got new clothes on. You only feel good if you got a woman. You only feel good if you insert any carnal thing that just fills a gap inside of you. And when you don't have it, you just start to feel empty and down and low energy. It's because you're missing something spiritually inside you. You understand? Like a spiritual problem needs a spiritual solution. All the drugs in the world cannot fill that void. Read on.
And he called him and said unto him, how is it that I hear this?
Now, if you're an employee, right, and if you're an employer, and your employee is doing the wrong thing, you get a report. You're gonna be like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Keep reading.
Give an account of thy stewardship, for thou mayest be no longer steward.
So if I look at the work you've done, you're fired. You're done. This is the account of your stewardship. You wasted these goods. You're no longer employed. So the Most High is removing these so-called leaders, right? Y'all do not work for me anymore. Let me show you what they do. Good.
Then the steward said within himself, what shall I do? For my Lord taketh away from me the stewardship. I cannot dig. To beg, I am ashamed.
You don't want to do no hard labor. He been living good. He got a good career. He worked for a rich man. Imagine working for Elon Musk and you're his steward, meaning you run the whole plant. Right? You make good money. Taking home 250, 300,000 a year, maybe 450, who knows? Bringing some bread home. After living like that for so long, you think you're gonna go work HVAC in Texas? You think you're gonna be a roofer? You think you're gonna be passing out in that summer heat? You don't want to do that. You think you're gonna be like these 304s and be like, you know what I'm saying, here's my cash app? Think you're gonna be in the street panhandling? You ain't gonna beg. You got too much pride to beg. You lived in such an state of deliciousness. You understand what I'm saying? Fuck it, we ball. Right? Nah, he got to come up with a plan. Now he needs a scheme. You know?
I am resolved what to do.
Oh, we know what to do now.
That when I am put out of the stewardship, they may receive me into their houses.
I know how I'm going to keep all these people. I know how I'm going to rob the Most High. You understand? They got a scheme. And it's a scheme that a lot of men in this position do. You know?
So he called every one of his lords and debtors unto him. And he said unto the first, How much owest thou unto my Lord? And he said, 100 measures of oil. And said unto him, Take thy bill and sit down quickly and write 50.
So think about it, right? 100 measures of oil. Yeah, who knows how many shekels that was? Probably big money. You know what I'm saying? We talking commerce right now. Okay, so he said you owe 100, just pay me back 50. And your debt's cleared. We all have a debt to the Most High. You understand? And the Most High is not 50-50. So why would we be 50-50 to the Lord? See what I'm saying? Like, just think about it, right? If you were somebody and somebody owes you money, you understand that you like if I owe you $1,000, you want 1,000 or you want 500? You want 1,000. But you know how debt collection works? Debt collector calls you up and says, yeah, I see that you owe 2,000. It's maybe back 1,600. We'll get you on a payment plan. You get paid every 2 weeks, bi-weekly. That's how it works. They're undercutting so that this way they're making the burden easier. And wide is the gate to destruction, narrow is the path to life. Like I want y'all to think about this, right? There's a religion for any sin that you want to commit. You don't have to change your life and think that you're serving God in this society. Are you serving the God of this book? No. You understand? You can go, listen, you sell crack. You understand? Or you understand? Or today is fentanyl. You pushing all the fatty, all the perk 30s. You get locked up. You go convert to Islam for protection. You come home and now you sell pills to everybody without a beard. You just a Muslim drug dealer. You want to smoke weed? Hey, go be a Rasta. Jobless, right? Rastafari. You guys could just smoke all the weed in the world. You got to think of it as if you were real Rasta, you got to smoke at least 3 times a day. Muslims got to bang their head on the floor 5, 7 times a day. That's how it goes. You want to be a child molester? Go be a Catholic priest. You understand? You go abuse children, and then they just go move you to Venezuela. You go abuse children, you get caught, it's going to move you to Mexico. They gonna do what the police departments do when they unalive a Black or Latino. You think that they got fired, they just went to work for another department. They got transferred. Suspended without pay. Oh, excuse me, with pay. You understand? So now, that's what I meant to say, I appreciate you. So now, that's what these cats have done. That's why fake Israelite groups exist. You understand, like butt plugs, Sakari. You understand? That cat, you understand, would shove this menorah up his ass. You understand? I'm not playing. You know what I'm saying? It's on no jumper. You understand? This cat was claiming to be an Israelite high priest, and this woman was pegging him without numbing lube. And as per the text, that was his personal correspondence between him and his wife, as he says. And you know why people went there? Because Commanding General Yahan is a father. You know what Pop says? Go to bed. You got school in the morning. But Big Bro is going to play video games with you all night. You understand? Pop says, I don't want you hanging out on the corner with them. Big Bro gonna let you, you understand, run the streets with him. Big Bro gonna take you to the family gathering, go meet up with his cousin and get you high for the first time. You understand? He's not as strict as Pops. So as a result, you want to go somewhere without discipline. Especially if you grew up without a father. You understand? You grew up where your emotions dictate to you what's acceptable, what you feel. As a man, it doesn't matter what you feel. Especially if you just came in with 2 kids. Could you wake up in the morning and say, I don't feel like going to work right now? Or you just go to work and take some damn Dayquil and just thug it out if you don't feel well. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't just move according to feel. You don't have that luxury. You're not a woman or a child. But what they've done is they've undercut the Most High and made sure that you don't have to pay the full debt. And being a Christian, the easiest thing in the world. What do you have to do as a Christian? What's up? If that. Because now you got denominations that don't even have to go to church no more. Don't have to congregate. What do you have to actually do as a Christian to serve God? Nothing. I spoke to a Christian before that says, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, if you do something wrong, you just pray and, you know, ask for forgiveness. That's not true. A true apology is changed behavior. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see you, I slap you in the face, and right after I smack you, I say sorry. Am I sorry if I do it again? It makes no sense. They have shown us, you understand, the opposite of serving God. They showed us how to undercut the Most High's program. Read on.
And then said he to another, and how much owest? Yeah. And how much owest thou? He said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said unto him, take thy bill and write 4 scores.
4 scores is 20. So he's saying, give me 80. Undercut. Keep reading.
And the Lord commended the unjust steward, because he had done wisely.
Oh yeah, he done wisely. This is wise though in a deceitful way. Okay, no, please.
For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light.
The children of the world are wiser than the children of light, because the children of the world are willing to do things that the children of light will not do. The children of the world will lie, will hustle, will scheme, will prey, you understand, on your emotions, will prey on your passions, will prey on your interests to get rich. Will tell you soothsaying things, you understand, that they're able to manipulate you in order to get their money. This is what they do. They are willing to hustle, scam, and scheme. So that this way they can keep, well, why do you think churches are filled? Because they're telling you things you agree with. You know what Israelites do? We say that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right, right.
You understand? You can't just sleep with any woman and throw them away. You sleep with a woman, you have to keep her forever. That's why nobody wants sex to be marriage. Because two things happen if sex is marriage. If sex happens and the last crazy bitch you slept with is your wife, that woman coming out the club that you didn't give a damn about, that's your wife. In sickness and in health forever. And if you're a woman, now you start thinking about all the bodies you have. Then you start feeling like a 304. You didn't have 10 bodies, you didn't have 10 husbands. It means you committed adultery 9 times. You feel the weight? You feel the gravity? But you know what's way easier? I can sleep with whoever I want until I buy them a ring. So that ring, that piece of metal is worth more than your body? Because the ring ain't getting AIDS. The marriage certificate ain't getting monkeypox. You get what I'm saying? The wedding dress and the tuxedo, you understand, that you wear that one night ain't getting herpes. You are. Because that's your body. That's your soul. And the Lord, you understand, can put your body and soul in hell. Hell is right here. Hell is this condition. You understand? Hell is the ghettos, the barrier, prison cell. You understand? The corners, you understand, that we grew up on. Like I be talking to people and I'm like, I just want my son to grow up and be a kid. Because I remember drinking on the corner at 12. Why did I have a 40 at 12? Why was I smoking cigarettes at 13? You understand?
Right.
Why was I pushing other tiny plants at that time? At 15? For what? Because that's this world. That's what it does to you. It destroys you. And you know what? I thought God loved me then. I thought I loved God. My family sure loved me more. Sure did. I literally had family members say, I liked you better when you smoked weed. I liked you better when you sold it. They like me better when I'm doing dirt. They like me better when I'm only giving the Lord 50. But when I gave the Lord 100, that's when this place started to hate. Because now I'm at it. Now we in the Most High's secret place. And you know what? You know how many of my peoples is gone now? I got people who said, you're going to die on that corner that's buried right now. I've been fine. Me and my brother's been fine. We've been thriving. You know how many friends I have, you understand, handling heroin now? Dead, in jail. You understand? Or, even worse, they think they made it in like corporate America. They alive right now, and they whole spirit and soul's been stripped from them, and they are walking shell. Because those that are dead, they ain't gotta worry about it no more. But them, they still trying to keep up with the Kirks. They still trying to tap dance. They still trying to fit into this society that just oppresses and berates and grinds their soul out. I'm a free man. You understand? Live completely free. You'll be like, man, how you got that courage? I got freedom. It's freedom in Christ. Read on.
And I say unto you, make to yourself friends of the mammon of unrighteousness.
Make yourself friends with the mammon of unrighteousness. Meaning, mammon, this is blood money, drug money. This is money that you've acquired from doing the wrong thing. Make you friends with it. You understand? That's what Glorilla Hebrew is trying to do. He's trying to make himself friends with that money. See, the Israelites didn't work no more, so I'm gonna go be a Hoover Crip. You get what I'm saying? I'm Like he's trying to find a way to make the people still receive him. Please.
But one thing about that, sir, he put OG Gumby, his OG Gumby and God at the same level.
He said, I come in the name of Gumby and God, of God and Gumby.
Right.
What?
I don't know. That blew my mind.
You know why? Because he's on TikTok right now, you know what I'm saying, begging for coffee cups and stars, and, you know, whatever else is going to pop up on the screen. He made himself friends with the mammon. See, there's nothing wrong with having money, but there's a problem acquiring riches, you understand, by undercutting what the Most High wants. You understand? Like, I would never take a job that asks me to shave my beard.
Right.
I gotta change who I am for money, my culture, something natural that grows out of my face, the thing that separates me from women and children. You know, your first sign of manhood is that little peach fuzz above your mustache. You know what I'm saying? Above your lip. It's the first sign of manhood. I gotta shave a symbol of my manhood to get paid. Muslims, women go into office buildings dressed like ninjas. You understand? Like shinobi. And it's acceptable. Amalek wear that little frisbee right on the top of his head with the curls and the tizzlets hanging off the side. But you telling me a black or Latino can't walk into a place with braids, your culture? This place wants to erode who we are, wants to strip us of who we are. Man, damn that. I've turned down positions. Listen, I built my entire life around camp. I never took a job if they wanted me to come in on Saturday. I would always tell them, I'm a Messianic Jew. That is my Sabbath. I didn't have to come in. You understand? Like you got like to a point where, listen, I worked slaveries. You understand? Well, I had a Jewish man ask me to come in on Saturday, and I said, it's the Shabbat. He goes, oh yeah. I forgot. I know. I remember what you do. You understand? They had 125 next to my name on the whiteboard because they see me on 125th Street calling them the devil. And what's crazy is it made them respect me more.
Right.
Because you respect an enemy. You don't respect the slave. You understand? And that's what we've become. We become slaves that just do their beckon. And it was okay that they didn't like me, but I knew how to deal with them. One of them even introduced me to the owner one time. He was like, yeah, this is such and such. You know what I'm saying? He hates white people. He goes, oh, you're the one who discriminates against white people. Now, in that moment, I could have folded and been a slave, or I could stand on. Now, I didn't spike the ball. But I read that man's spirit, and I looked at him, and I said, I just think that we should all be able to hate each other equally. And he looked at me back in the eyes and went, I believe the same thing. I said, so we agree. That bothered me again. You got to be free. You got to double down on this truth. You understand? You got to be seasoned. You got to know what to do. But it was impossible to hide. How do you hide when you're in a documentary? Listen, I'm teaching in the school. The kids put me in a group chat. You understand? You know, my last name started. They were like, "Is this Mr. H?" Meanwhile, it's me saying the white man. It's Black Israelite hate group with Tommy G. You know what I'm saying? 5 million views. Is this Mr. H? I'm like, yeah, it's me. 2 weeks later, we're on Tyler's documentary. Then they see me on Hate Thy Neighbor. Now, most of the time, I ain't shit. But what I'm saying is, I can't hide. The job's gonna know who I am. Well, now you know me. Now what? Do we call HR? So I gotta call my lawyer, or are we gonna get back to business? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even being in a seat of, you know, rulership, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's crazy, this is what's even funnier. The white students love me, the Asian students love all of them, because when you're in a seat of power, Sign the contract. This is a job. I'm just here to do my job. Treat everybody according to understand how it is. But you know what I do? When I leave that job, at that job, I'm myself. And when I leave that job, I'm myself. I'm Captain Capt everywhere. Capt at work. Capt at home. Capt at camp. But there's a time and a place. I'm not going to go up on the whiteboard and say, now let me tell y'all why the white man is the devil. I'm here to teach you whatever. I can do that at camp. You understand? Like that same job, I rose to shop steward. You know what I'm saying? Like acquired power there. My rating was a 4.5. It was higher than every other instructor in the school. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna outperform everybody. Don't think that because you're in the truth, you're behind anybody in the world. Y'all probably have a skill that you're better than half the people out there. You understand? And that's acceptable. But you know what I did? I went to work for the colony and brought it back to the end. My money, my love is for my people. I invest in us. Isn't that what the Asians do? The Asians come to a black neighborhood, a Latino neighborhood, sell fried chicken and fried rice and soda. And does that money go back in the community? Their community is where it goes. Next time, raise your hand. You know what I'm saying? Their community is where it goes. Well, you know what? I can go work for anybody. And you know where my money goes? My company. There's nothing wrong with money. But you know when there's something wrong with money? When you get that $1 million contract, and it usually comes with a G-Wagon and a white woman in the front seat. When you betray your sister, thinking that their women have value. You know when it's a problem? When you take that money and you use it to prey on poor people. Instead of helping them, instead of aiding them, instead of building them up, when you take advantage of them because you're now in a position of power. You know when it becomes mammon? When you decide to say that you're an Israelite and then you're not living what you're teaching and you're shoving minorities. That's when it's a problem. You're breaking people's faith. There's nothing wrong. Like even you take a look at Joseph. Joseph rose to the second highest position in all of Egypt. And you know how he did that? He got thrown in jail because he wouldn't break the laws of God. He was a servant, and his master's wife wanted to sleep with him. He wouldn't commit adultery. She lied, and then he got thrown in prison because of it. Now, y'all should know the rest of the story. He interpreted visions, 7 years of famine, 7 years of plenty. They did the storehouse, and before you know it, Egypt would not have become a superpower if it wasn't for Joseph. Like if that famine would have hit, Egypt would have crumbled. Egypt was able to maintain their power and grow and thrive to the point where other lands were coming to get food from them. Now, you think that didn't boost their economy? Because that man kept the commandments of God. Daniel, thrown in a lion's den. And Daniel became a vizier in 3 separate regimes in Babylon. Daniel was there for Nebuchadnezzar, for the Persians, for Darius, after Darius. He kept staying in power. You know why? He served the Most High.
Right.
There's nothing wrong if you don't compromise. These men have compromised. And this is also why it's easier for you to understand a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven, because every man with money goes through a test. You understand? And that test is going to see if you're going to make yourself friends with the mammon or if you're going to do the right thing. Because where your treasure is, so shall thy heart be. Give you a couple of examples. What? Oh. I see you've done the same thing. But now what happens is, okay, Nick Cannon had a platform. He said the Jews were black. The Jewish man tried to monetarily lynch him. He squeezed that brother. And then he apologized and brought a rabbi on and had a rabbi teach him about their pain, gave him sensitivity training, spanked him. Nick Cannon should have doubled down and said, F that. Said what I said. Failed his test. Because he wanted to keep doing Wild 'N Out. He wanted to keep that deal with Viacom. He didn't want to lose Nickelodeon. The more you have, the more there is to lose. And that's not saying you can't have it. You understand? But what are you doing with it when you got it? What did you do to get it? What did you do to keep it? Take a look at, you understand, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving got traded. You ain't heard a goddamn thing about the Jews being black after. He started talking about Islam. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick one time said the Jews were black. The next album, he made a song about his uncle. Talking about putting a crown on his head overseas, saying they judged you, they judged Christ. You understand? You know, whatever. Talking about promoting abortion. He failed his test. Those brothers failed their test when they got money and it came. So the question is, are you going to make yourself friends with the man, or are you going to be the Most High's ally? Is that money going to be a defense for his people? Or is it going to be for you to just fulfill all your lusts? That's what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? And especially even other brothers, man, pay your tithes. You know, tithes is, if you don't pay your tithes, you might as well eat pork. What's the difference? The difference between the two? Or are you friends with your money? There's nothing wrong with having money. Again, what are you doing with it? Read on. That was heavy. I was dropping it. Most High Christ.
That when you fail, they may receive you into everlasting habitation.
Now that right there is the cut. Because this is what the Most High knows about his people. Do you know why? Okay, Joel Osteen, he's from Texas, right? You remember when he locked them doors during a hurricane? He wouldn't let his people in. You know why that church is not empty? Because he's friends with the mammon. So those people receive him to everlasting habitations. Like poor people go to these churches because the pastor has the Rolls Royce. And they think it's going to be like trickle down economics. Like, because the pastor I serve is rich, I'm going to get rich. I'm going to get a crumb, a blessing. Let me give you more money so I'm blessed. And then, grandmama can't pay her rent. She go to the church after paying tithes for 35 years. And the pastor says, let's pray. Instead of helping her pay her rent.
Like Sir Joe Osteen was the one that hit the $5,000 the wall.
I don't know nothing about that.
Oh yeah. He after the hurricane, they went in there to do like construction work in the restroom, and they found $500,000 in the wall, like a drug dealer.
This guy's a criminal. This guy's an absolute criminal. That's insane. He got money in the walls like Marty Bird. He got money. He got money in the walls. You understand? Like he's what's that other show I was watching? Like he's Walter White. These guys are Breaking Bad. So, do I got to keep going, or did that answer your question for homegirl? Any other questions? Yes, it's
Can you explain the mammon a little more, please?
mammon is just think about blood money. Think about money you acquired the wrong way. Think about having riches and then people want to follow you because of that, and you're taking advantage of those people. You're preying on those people to continue to get that money. It's money that you understand that in this instance, this mammon is money that's not coming from, you understand, righteous deeds. You know what I'm saying? And that's, in essence, that's the sin of witchcraft. You understand? Like people think, witchcraft is, Harry Potter, and you know what I'm saying? Abracadabra, you know what I'm saying? It's not witchcraft. The sin of witchcraft is robbing somebody of hope. The sin of witchcraft is taking somebody away from the Most High and taking their money in the process of offering them something that does nothing. You understand? Like they shaking the table and got a fog machine in the back. You think you're talking to your ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Getting some solace and some closure. And you taking that money from them. And now that person thinks you got power instead of the Most High, thinking of the Most High power. It's a sin. It's a hustle. You understand? Like, and that's why the scripture says, I suffer a witch not to live. A drug dealer is a witch. You understand? Like a drug dealer trying to, you know what I'm saying? You think you ever see a witch? They got that big pot, they got a cauldron, mixing something up to alter your mind, to make you feel better, to put something, to give something to somebody else, to make them love you. What's the difference between a drug dealer hitting the pot with some ice, rocking it up, and then giving it, you understand, to a fiend to get some top later in the car? You understand? What's the difference between a coke dealer? You understand? Giving a woman some blow, so that she'll blow him later. Ain't that a love potion? Suffer a witch not to live. This is what happens inside this society, man. So once again, how you getting your money and what are you doing with it? I think that's what matters. And the more you have, like there's it was not required. It's not in the law to sell everything that you have and follow Christ. Why did Christ say that to the rich man? I wouldn't necessarily say that he knew he wouldn't give it up, but how you gonna follow Christ the way the disciples did and maintain all the personal belongings you have? Christ knew it would be a distraction to him, and that was his test. That was his burden. He said, Nick Cannon could have lost everything. You know what else he could have done? Could have followed Christ. And here's something else too. This is something I want y'all to know too, right? This is like such a cut to the fake Israelite. Y'all know the rich man kept the law. Christ asked him, do you do this? Do you do that? Do you keep this law? Do you keep that law? He said, I do. Okay, good. Sell everything you have and follow me. What? Give me Matthew 5 and 17. You know what I'm saying? And this is the milk scripture. But following Christ is not saying, I believe. That's giving the Most High praise. But That ain't all there is to it. It's not just a belief. It's not just lip service. Read on.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Christ didn't come to destroy the law. Rich man kept the law. Okay?
Or the prophets.
Well, the what?
Or the prophets.
Anything that's written inside this book, inside this record. Okay?
I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
You understand? He came to show us how to complete and fulfill this. Okay?
Verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass,
Okay?
one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
You know, like think about, you understand, crossing every T, dotting every I. You got to complete everything. Like, heaven and earth has not passed away. We're still here right now. You go outside, you see the sky, you walking on earth right now. That means we got to do everything. Okay?
Till all be fulfilled.
Okay?
Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments,
Okay?
and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
That pastor next door is going to be least in the kingdom. Because he breaks the commandments and teaches men so. You know, just like the evil steward we just read about in the 16th chapter. Read on.
But whosoever shall do and teach them,
You got to do and teach. You got to walk the walk and talk the talk. Okay?
the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
It's not just keeping the law. Keeping the law is the bare minimum. You got to put in work. You got to have a resume. Now, what's your resume to the Lord? Because this is what I know. Y'all ever hear of a brother named Moses? Famous brother? You understand? Amazing, but they make movies about him. Everybody knows about the 10 plagues of Egypt. You could never be in a church in your life and you know Moses split the Red Sea, that the Lord gave him the power to do so. Moses made it to the promised land? Who the fuck am I? Who are you? Who's any of us? I want you to feel this for a second. Moses came to Egypt, went before Pharaoh. You understand? Protested. But Moses, like, you got to really think about this, right? Moses walked in and talked to the leader of the most powerful nation in the world and said, I want you to let my people go. Otherwise, all your crops are going to die.
Right.
Your water supplies are going to be poisoned. If somebody, contacted Trump and said, you understand, all your water's not going to be drinkable if you don't do this. You know what they call him? A terrorist. Moses terrorized Egypt through the power of the Most High. He destroyed, there wasn't an industrial revolution then. When it was agriculture, he destroyed all their crops, all their cattle. The light disappeared. You read Josephus's account, they said they would light a fire and it would be darkness around the fire. There's no light anywhere. Y'all ever deal with like a one horse fly in the house?
Yeah.
How annoying is that? Imagine a plague of horse flies. All the fish dying in the rivers. Boils all over everybody's neck. And then imagine your firstborn son dying. Everybody. It said that the firstborn insect died in that. Cattle, bird, and human. Moses was the Most High's representative to do that. A pillar and a light and a cloud by the day led them out. The Red Sea split. They walked across dry land. The enemies were coming. It closed up. They watched their enemies get destroyed in front of them. They needed water. He tapped the rock. Water would flow from it. They needed food. Quail would pop up and manna, bread from the angels. And Moses was the representative for all that. Moses didn't make it into the promise. So who are you? What have you done?
I was watching a documentary. They were trying to figure out like about the plagues, and they said that it absolutely happened, right? Well, all the plagues absolutely happened. They just still don't know how it happened. Like all the science and technology on the earth today, they just don't understand how all the plagues happened at one point at one time.
Yeah, the Most High.
Yeah.
That's God. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. You think it's Hurricane Andrea? It's Hurricane Yahweh. It is the Most High power controlling the wind. That's what it is. You make something, you can control it, right? You draw a painting, you can manipulate everything you want, right? Most High painted all this. Whatever he wants. So if Moses didn't make it, who are you? Why do you think that you're just so worthy of God's love, of his mercy? What have you done? I haven't done shit. I ain't split a puddle. I ain't raised nobody from the dead. You understand? Nothing. I don't just think I got a ticket for a chariot. I'm working every day trying to build a resume that God will look down and be like, let's not kill him. He can live. And if you're not thinking like that, you're not thinking at all. If you're not, the scripture says, make thine election sure. I work every day and I'm unsure. I don't think it's guaranteed. I don't even think I'm worthy. So what are you doing? Nothing? Okay. Well, be with you. That's Christian. Christianity is a slave religion. Christianity, you know what slaves do? Master, can I have a crumb? Yes, you know what slaves do? Slaves argue with the meter maid. Why? You know why you're arguing with the meter maid? You're a slave. You're asking for mercy. Please don't write that ticket. Why are you subjecting yourself to a heathen? Put yourself, listen, use two things. Park legally or pay the ticket. Just don't ask for mercy. I want to be the one to give mercy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be in the, like you don't have the ability to destroy somebody. You don't have, mercy doesn't exist without the ability to show. You know what I'm saying? Even camp. I don't go to camp like I'm a martyr. Like, would I be prepared to die? Absolutely. But I'm at camp like everybody at camp made it home because I decided to have mercy on them. I don't feel like the crowd had mercy on me. I serve God. I look at it like I let you live. I have the ability to destroy you. I got the ability to ask the Most High to drop you dead right in front of me. I believe he'll hear me. But I'm not going to. You have power, you need to be magnanimous with. You understand? I serve the God of the living, not the dead. So I don't focus on death, I focus on life. How do you raise the dead? How do you create more of it? You understand? That's where your head's got to be at. Your head's got to be in life, in choosing life. People, and really think about this. Like, if life is a choice, is that really a choice? It's a no-brainer. You got people who think, oh, God gave us free will. No, God put a gun to your head and said, obey me. You think that's free will? What type of choice is that? If death is a choice, you're sick. If death is a choice, you have completely misconstrued what living is. Because you're really living in death. Me, I live in life. Everything around me is life. That's where you got to be at, because living is hard. Death is easy. Death, you got to think about it. You got to live for the Most High. You got to live for this truth. Got a question?
Sorry, sir. There's a question online by Troopers of Garwan of Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
It's like the other one. Can you break down 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 21? What is old? What is good?
Let's get there. I ain't used a damn physical Bible in so long, I can't even find physical. A trooper will find it before me.
It's in the New Testament.
You ain't shit. I'm joking, y'all, but 1 Thessalonians 5 and what? 21, and it says, prove all things, hold fast to that which is good. Okay, what is good?
The law, statutes, and commandments.
Yeah, the truth. You understand? Prove all things. We gotta prove all things, right? And then once we find something is true, what do? Hold on to it. Keep it. Jesus is black. Hold on to that.
Right.
You understand? Not eating pork. Hold on to that. Celebrating the Passover. Hold on to that. Passover is not Easter. You understand? We're gonna pull that in and hold on to that. Everybody that came in here, y'all proved all things. I tried to prove this place wrong. Yeah, you think I just like joining cults? That's what you think. You think I'm just a cult joiner? I was so against organized religion because I came from the Catholic Church. So it was like I was searching though. Like in my soul, I knew my soul was dirty. And I was like, I have to find a way to serve God. And I searched and searched and searched and searched and searched and searched. And I was just like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it. That ain't it. This ain't it. No. And then I see these wild brothers on the corner. And I said, right or wrong, they believe that shit. Like seeing brothers on the corner dressed like 700 BC, like looking like Mortal Kombat characters. You know what I'm saying? With shit I ain't never seen before. Outside, you know what I'm saying? Like shit, but Comic-Con wasn't even popular back then. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude on the corner dressed like Sub-Zero with fringes on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Screaming at the top of his lungs, saying the white man is the devil. Right or wrong? I know you believe this. No, you got conviction. See what you're talking about. I love talking to street preachers. Guy with the blue bullhorn, guy with a sign coming out of his backpack that says the world's gonna end on such and such a date. I wanted to talk to him because you believe that shit. But nah, this ain't. This ain't. These brothers though, I learned about the Dark Ages that was you know that. Okay. Damn, I never heard the Bible like this. I ain't never even heard of Esau. Jacob and Esau, tell me more, okay? That's where white people come from. That make a lot of sense. Make a lot of sense why white people hate black people so much. They think we stole their birthright. Wait, who were we before? Nah, Really? Okay. I could get down with reincarnation. I believe we recycle in here. I can get down with heaven and hell, being a condition on earth. I believe that. Believe, depending on what you do, depends on how you come back. Okay. Christ didn't die for everybody. Nah, show me that.
Crazy.
Oh, and they did. Wait. Gentiles are Israelites living like another nation? Show me that. And show me that 5 times. The shield of David is ours. Show me that. And they did. I challenged everything. Listen, Captain Zara hated to be in the car with me when I was a young man. We rode to Philly. Philly was 2.5 hours away. I asked him questions for 2.5 hours. And I would paraphrase shit. What was book, chapter, verse? By the time we got there, he was ready for camp. He didn't even need a precept book. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when you're young in the truth, you start asking questions from a point of skepticism. Then as you start to get rooted in the truth, you start asking questions to how to defend the doctrine. You understand? Then you just start looking for ways to just chop everybody up. And that's you young in the truth. Then this is when you start to graduate. When you start looking for how to be a better brother. You understand? When you stop wanting to just weaponize the truth to destroy our enemies, which is fun. I love doing that shit. Don't get it twisted. I love, you understand, slice and dicing and drowning an enemy. But I love being a brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know the only thing that me and Capt Chaataza fight about? Who's gonna pay the bill? And he cussing me out because yesterday I got him all the Jamaican food in the world. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, and now he's like, oh, okay, your day's coming. I'm gonna tell y'all this, and you can't tell nobody else. We got food. He thought he paid. I took the money. I gave it the top of I said, this. When I leave. And I seen them. I dapped Yachty. And Yachty was looking at me like, what did you do? I looked at him and I went, check. Drove off. And he called me up. And he was like, I'm taking you to counsel. That's how me and him fight. You know what I'm saying? Like in here, like in the world, you gonna fight somebody for the last slice of pizza. In here, we gonna fight. No, you eat it. No, you eat it. No, you eat it. After 10 minutes, now that it's cold, we just don't cut it in half. And both of us still gonna be a little hungry. Cause that's brother. You understand? Long suffering. You know what I'm saying? Like, driving with your brother, though, the AC's busted. You know what I'm saying? Like helping him get his AC, like that's another thing. We got to bear each other's burdens. Bearing each other's burdens is not tell me more. It's not a shoulder to cry on. It's not sisterhood. That's sisterhood. Sisterhood, they gonna talk to each other. Brotherhood is, I'm a captain. You understand? Or you're an officer. This is your zone. He can't pay his rent. We can't pay our rent. Now, how are we gonna get him the money? That's how you bear a burden. You understand? You don't bear a burden by looking at it. You bear a burden by, I'm going to lift this side, you lift that side. Our economy is brotherhood. Like, what do you think the whole point of not cleaning the corners of your vineyard was? It was so that when the poor came into the land, they had something to eat. Like think about it. If you were Israelite, right? So our inheritance, the way that it worked, Judah had land that only Judah could own. Ephraim had land that only Ephraim can own. Issachar had land that only Issachar could own. Yeah, so on and so forth. So me as the Ephraimite, if I travel to Judah's land, I can't own. If I can't own land, how do I grow food? So as a result, the people who did grow food would leave some, so I wouldn't starve to death. So that I wouldn't have to beg. You understand? We did, our community was so that we don't oppress each other. You can't charge a brother usury interest. If you come to me and say, I need $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, I give you the $3,000. How much do you pay me back? Whatever it is I gave you. Because if I keep charging you money you don't have, you know what that makes you? A servant to me. We can't enslave each other. Shit, you supposed to get paid the day of. Y'all know that? White man pays you every 2 weeks. That's sick. You work and you gotta wait 2 weeks to get your food. You're supposed to get paid end of day, right when you clock it out. For your service. Our economy is brotherly. Even something small like when they say not wearing mixed fabrics. The whole point of that, it's why we can't mix certain things. It's because I can't sell you a pit bull and say it's a pure breed and it's mixed with a boxer. So I can't hustle you. I can't sell you silk, but it's mixed with, whatever, polyester. Because ain't that what we gonna do? Niggas got cold. What's the first thing they did? Get the Similac. Get the talcum powder. They started chopping it up. They started cutting it. You think you getting pure Colombian gold? You know what I'm saying? So I was watching Breaking Bad last night. When they couldn't cook the shit blue, they put food color in it. You know what I mean? You thought it was purple, they sprayed it. So y'all shaking y'all head, y'all did that shit. Y'all scumbags like me. Put it in a Batman baggie and sold it at the Dark Knight. Nah, but my point is, we hustle, we scheme. We are not to do that to each other. All of our economy is brotherhood. Once you get there, now you really in it. And that's what fake Israelites don't get. That's why fake Israelite groups fall apart. That's why the Christian church falls apart. That's why the Muslim mosque falls apart. The lack of brotherhood. If we don't have a code of honor amongst each other, a moral code, everything falls apart. You know what I mean? That's why we got to talk to each other. That's why we got to see slap. You know what I'm saying? And not all the time. There's times where somebody being a bitch. And they got to man up. And then there's times where you're being a tyrant. You understand? And correction is going to show you, you understand the difference between the two. And that's what we got to do. We got to fight to maintain brotherhood with each other. Because it's like, if we can't get along with each other more, what are we going to do when we inherit the earth? What's going to happen when some actual money comes in? You know what I'm saying? And even land. First of all, let me, the scripture says, even if you had, let's say you had an inheritance, right? You had a plot of land. That's not really your land. You in Israel, the land you inherit, you can't sell. Y'all know that? You could lease it. You could never sell it. Like the Most High is so amazing. Like when you read Leviticus, the 25th chapter, let's get there right now. Let me show y'all some shit. This when I seen this, it blew my mind. Leviticus 25. Bear with me. I gotta find a verse on freestyle.
Pretty good freestyle, sir.
Oh man, Most High in Christ, brother. I ain't shit. I'm not supposed to say that anymore. So for the land, increase, statutes, boom. Give me verse 23.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 23. The land shall not be sold forever.
The land cannot be sold forever. You can't sell this land. Okay?
For the land is mine.
The Holy Land belongs to the Most High. It was never ours. It was given to us. Okay?
For ye are strangers and sojourners with me.
I thought strangers and sojourners are other nations.
For ye are strangers and sojourners with me.
We are strangers and sojourners with the Most High. Drop down to verse 17, just so I could piece this together.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 17. Ye shall not therefore oppress one another, but thou shalt fear thy God, for I am the Lord your God.
These are all the laws concerning real estate. So this is what it comes down to. This is how amazing the Most High is. You own land, right? But right now, you're poor. You made some bad financial decisions. So what you do is you sell off the rights to your land for a period of time. You lease your land. So someone else comes in, and then what they decide to do is they run your vineyard because you don't have the money to keep up operations. You can't pay the workers. You don't, you can't get the bottles for the wine. So he has the money, so he comes in and now he profits off your land. You have the capabilities to get yourself together to buy that back from him. And after 7 years, if you have not come up with the money, your debt's forgiven and the land goes back to you. So that this way, you never lose your inheritance. Because if you lose your land and you have children, what do you leave your son? The Most High came up with a system that we would never oppress each other, that you would always have a place to live. You'd never have to worry about being in the streets. Now think about it today. Think about how hard it is to get land right. Think about like if you rent right now and you die, where your kids have? What inheritance do you have? See the problem? We lost our inheritance. You can't be free without land.
You're absolutely right, sir. I have a question about that. The 7 years. So you know how credit works out here, and like after 7 years, it's basically like they start deleting stuff off of your credit.
They get that from the Bible. Like this whole world, like they get from the Bible. You know what I'm saying? They just do it loosely. But the way that your credit is forgiven after 7 years, that's from the Bible. Because who created the financial system? Well, yes, but the fake Jew, he runs the system. He created the whole banking system. Does a Jewish man charge a Jewish man interest? In his banking system, does he charge you?
Yes.
Because he thinks we're the coin. See the difference? We are all enslaved in a system of debt. But you know what? We're supposed to be doing that to them. They did it to us. You know why? Give me Lamentations, the 5th chapter. You got a question?
Just started one, sir.
Yes. Yeah, if I ever pull out a chapter and never give a verse to start it one, lock it.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach.
Meaning that what's come upon us is shame. You understand? Reproach. You understand? We're in such a low condition.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers. It's turned to another nation. We we have lost our inheritance. Our inheritance was our land. It's what belongs to us. It was given over to Amalek. Like who's in Israel right now? Who do they believe the real Jew is? You understand? The melanoma patients over there. Read on.
Our houses to aliens.
Brother, you know what it is to have a house. Yo, watch that show Shogun. And the reason why is because the feudal era was kind of how our society was set up. And while Ammon is an Israelite, they are Hebrews. So a lot of their society is set up according to how ours was in some areas. And if you watch how they have houses and lords, you gonna watch that show, you're gonna see generals, captains, officers, and troopers, and each one of them is over a village. And depending on their rank is how many of the province that they're over. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna look and you gonna see how they have this inheritance. They call it fiefdoms. You understand the areas that they're over. You know what I'm saying? That's like us. We got captains over 10,000, captains over 500. You know what I'm saying? Captain over 500 is over a small city. You know what I'm saying? Like picture a brother being over the east side. The brother's over the west side. The brother's over the south side. But you're over the whole city. And then there's a brother that's over the whole state. So they had this shit set up. You know what I'm saying? But to us, it's been our houses. We don't have a house anymore. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like a house where you have servants. Where your servants have little houses on the properties. Look how Japanese set their cribs up. Like it's almost identical to our shit. Because it's Eastern culture. This is Western culture. Everything's backwards.
But do they still take some of that today, like with councilmen and aldermen and mayors, governors?
In that area, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because like most of the world, you know what I'm saying? But the way that they exercise it is different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's similar in the state of how they organize themselves in the structure. You know what I'm saying? To create like a Senate. But that's democracy. We didn't have democracy. You know what I'm saying? Like what Senates goes. There's not like a vote on it. There might be a council, you know what I'm saying? But you know, listen, what Commander Giuliani says, we don't have to have council here. Like when Christ come back, he's not gonna be like, all right, let's vote on it. Christ is a warlord, is a totalitarian dictator. Like you think Kim Jong-un is bad? Christ, it says his garment gonna look like he trekked the wine press. Going like he has a vector dipped in blood. It's gonna be vicious. Keep reading.
Verse 3. We are orphans and fatherless.
That's what we became. You understand? Like we have become orphan and fatherless. Okay?
Our mothers are widows.
How many of you understand? How many brothers died in the dope game? You know what I'm saying? You got a whole generation of fathers that were separated. You understand? And women were left to run this, and the ghetto was in shambles because there's no protection. Read on.
Verse 4. We have drunken our water from money.
Do you understand that it's illegal to collect rainwater in like 47 states? Do you know water falls from the sky? And I drink that Wakanda water at the store because I don't know what's coming out of these pipes. So you get Legionnaire's disease in the Bronx, drinking water. You understand? Like this is we pay for our water. Okay?
Our wood is sold unto us.
Like, do you want to teach a class? You know what I'm saying? Like wood is a resource. You know what I'm saying? Like you look outside. That's still them trees. That's wood.
We to the back.
You gotta pay for that. This wasn't your land. You didn't just choose to do that. You pay rent here. And if you actually need more, we gotta go pay for lumber. We're gonna go to Home Depot. We're gonna pay thousands of dollars instead of just getting it off of our own land. We should be harvesting our own timber. It's insane. Okay.
I remember when we were building the podium and building stuff, like we would go get wood from the store, and all the wood was bad. Where we also now got from like different Home Depots find wood, good wood at least. It was terrible. Even the weather treated wood, it was just like it had holes in it, it was rotten, it was just bad wood.
And they still sold it to us.
Yeah, they still trying to sell it.
You see what I'm saying? And why do we have to pay for that? Read on.
Verse 5, our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest.
Like people be talking about the Sabbath and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a curse that we wouldn't have no rest. It's a curse to work on the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? Like, all we do is labor. And even in that, like, think about, listen, I don't know what it was like down here in New York. You know how like New Yorkers mind their business? It's because we don't have time to focus on anything else. We're too busy trying to get to the next location, too busy trying to go here, go there. There's not enough time. So everybody's hustling, scamming, scheming, because we have no rest. It's all labor. This is the life that we live. This is why this is lamentations. It's lamenting because of all this. So we lost everything. The only way for us to get it back is for us to come together, is for us to return who we really are. Because the Asians got it, the Arabs got it, Africans got it. White man took the whole earth. And he could be whatever he wanted. He could be the last samurai. You know what I'm saying? Like he could be whatever he wants to be. And that's why I hate flat earth conversations. I absolutely do. Because why do you think we have the luxury to discuss that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have, okay, white man has won to the point where the government is not the only people who go to space. Jeff Bezos can go to space. Elon Musk can go to space. That cat, Sir Richards, whatever, from Virgin, you know what I'm saying, Mogul, can go to space. And the reason why they can do that is because they won. They control the global economy. They have infrastructure. They have a country. So now that they have a country, they can take scientists that can sit around and say, let's figure out the trajectory to go to the moon. And they use black women to do it. Black women put a man on the moon and in space and on. They were literally called computers before IBM got in NASA. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why are we having such philosophical discussions as if our nation is healthy? We don't have financial literacy. Never mind financial literacy, we don't have brotherhood. We don't know how to treat somebody as you want to be treated. We don't know you're not supposed to sleep with that man's wife. We don't know you're not supposed to sell drugs. We don't know you're not supposed to drink till you black out. We don't know you're not supposed to be on Fetty. Notice I'm saying we, because if a Mexican would have unalived Kirk, what do you think would have happened to every Mexican inside this country? If a black man would have unalived Kirk, What do you think would have happened to all black men around here? It'd be a race war right now. Because what you do, the nations will blame the rest of your brothers for.
If I missed it, it wasn't even a black man that did it or a Hispanic man that did it, but then we still got threats to the HBCU colleges.
And they still mad, because no matter what, we gonna get trickle down hate.
Right.
But it wasn't gonna be trickle down if it was actually one of us. So we're a monolith. What one of us do, we blame us all. If a black man or a Hispanic man shot a cop right now, you know every black and Latino is a suspect until they find him. You know that. We gonna have to roll that gate down and just stay inside for a couple hours. You understand? Now, we're not literally gonna do that, we're not criminals, but my point is, that's how real it is. What you do affects all of us. And that goes triple if you're in this school. You understand? I think everybody in Sakari puts something up their ass. Their leader does.
Right.
I think everybody in IUIC is soft. Their leader is. I think all Catholic priests touch children. Enough of them have. Right? Birds of a feather. That's it. Yo, my grandmama used to tell me all the time, show me who your friends are, I'll show you who you are. You understand? Like, listen, you could be a sister, you could have never had an abortion, but your friends do. So you know what that means? You support it. Silence is agreement. You accept it. It's what you want to be around. You understand? I'm one West. That's wrong. You understand? This is my cult. I drank the Kool-Aid. I love it here. It's an amazing place. You understand? Like this is how I want to be represented. I want to be represented as a brother who would rather serve the Most High than be loved by this place at any cost. I accept. Any questions? Good.
It's in Second Ezra chapter 7. Chapter 7, verse. I was sorry, 3. But it's talking about the. So in verse 6, it starts to talk about a place where basically talk about the kingdom, right? So then in verse 3, it says, and I said, speak on my God. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a whole wide place that it might be deep and great. Right? I wonder if is that still talking about the kingdom, like, or is that talking about something else?
Read it. Read it from 2 and then read it.
Verse the book of Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 2. And he said unto me, up, Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. Verse 3. And I said, speak unto my God. Then he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great.
Yeah.
Verse 4. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Verse 5. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it if he went not through the narrow?
So he's basically setting up, you understand, the journey and the path that it takes, you understand, to be able to get to the kingdom. Like, is it easy to navigate a narrow stream in a boat? Nah. It's easy to be in a wide ocean. You understand? Like, you try to take a boat through waters that are too shallow. What happens?
You're going to get busted up by the.
You go too far to the left, you're gonna hit the rocks, you're gonna get beached, something's gonna happen. You gotta You gotta carefully navigate through those waters. That's what it's talking about. You got to carefully navigate to get to the kingdom. You can't get distracted. You have to be focused. Okay, like if you going through this narrow stream and all that, can you afford to take your eyes off you know what I'm saying, steering? One small mistake, you threw.
Okay, so it's just like another, it's like another parable to the. Oh, you asked your question, but why?
Any other questions? What's up? Oh, no sweat. It's good to see you. Glad you made it. No sweat, no sweat.
Yeah, we're going home, bro.
That's it. All right, with that, pass the class over to priest and officer, your Capt. All right,
Sorry. This is Isupk security now. We are the Isupk, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. School for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. Brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will give permission for the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment. The book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 to 10, by Isupk, which means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Memorial of blowing of the trumpets, first day of the 7th month, that's September 21st, 2025. You can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 24 through 25. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pant, headband, scarf. This concludes the Isupk security announcement.
No, we used the teacher. I thought the teacher does it. So Jamar does it.
About to, please to stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Amat Shabbat, Machim, Barak, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Shabbat. The top, sorry for sisters. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, sisters, you can, which means stand, it's like, men of Israel, Amat Shabbat, Machim, Barak, Yahweh, Shemar, Hashem, Yahweh, Shabbat. Yahweh, Matah, pass the space.